The interesting thing to work with a ball is that instead of just touching ourselves, which stays pretty much, which is very, very nice also to find your own embodiment or your own way to relate to yourself, having a ball adds like another dimension, or adds like a third, some kind of a third entity in a way. And that's very interesting. It's like, so there is me, there are my hands, and then there's something in between. So it's more like when you work with a child or with a person, that you have that it's closer. When you work with an object, it's closer than when you just work without the object. And it's also, what is interesting is that an object like a ball is a place where you can move around. So it's like when you're without the ball, if you just move without the ball, what it invites without the ball is very nice, but it's very different than when you have a ball. You're not moving the same way with the ball. There is something which allows you to come around, because of this roundness, it invites you to kind of go with these movements. So if you just put the ball on your sternum, and then for a moment just tuning into that relationship. So you can put your hands in a comfortable way, either on the sides, or one a little bit below, one a bit above, and you can change anytime your position, which the ones who have been there last time or seen the video, it is really a key that that your two hands are relating to each other. So you feel the volume between your hands and you feel the relationship. So when one hand is moving, the other is responding. So there is this dialogue between the hands in contact with my sternum or my ribs. And so you can start to explore a little bit these relationships, the two hands, the sternum, and how between these 3 points you can move. So you can initiate from any of these 3 points, and the other 2 points are responding. So I can push a little bit with my sternum, or I can push a little bit with one hand or with the other hand, and I can vary the initiation from different places. And what is the ball inviting is this kind of roundness, the kind of a more spherical movements. Which also allows you to roll the ball a little bit up and down, or left, right, diagonal, any direction. So you can initiate from any of these 3 points, or you can roll the ball in any direction. You can receive the impulse, and everything with a kind of a fluid movement. Some fluidity or continuity of movement. Also feeling your shoulders, that you're not holding any tension in your shoulders, just letting your shoulders nicely slide over the ribs, so they can more easily respond to the movement of the ball. So sometimes the shoulder comes up while the other goes down, or one shoulder comes forward while the other comes back, or both are sliding back as the sternum comes forward. There are many ways to explore this relationship between your hands, the sternum, and the ball. And as the ball is rolling maybe a little bit further down, it can be connected to your solar plexus, or further up to your chin, to your neck, or further to the right or left, more connection with your ribs. It can even be a little massage of the different parts of your upper body. Also, maybe once in a while a deep inhale and exhale. With the exhale, if you want to make a sound. Just leave one hand on the ball, so the other hand and arm becomes free. And then continue in the same way, that you can push or move with the sternum, you can initiate the movement with your hand on the ball, and then you can also initiate the movement with the free hand. So the free hand or the free arm can reach in space. With this dialogue between your hand, the ball, the sternum, and the ribs, and gradually with this fluidity, you can bring in also your lungs, the volume underneath your ribs, and the heart. And your head and your spine can also respond to the movement. So it's not needed to stay vertical, but you can also side bend if you want. You can open one side of the ribs, and you can change your hand. If you want, the ball can also be lower, so you also bring in the liver and the stomach, pancreas, connecting more to the lower body. Like really allowing yourself to play around a little bit with this relationships. The ball, the sternum, lungs, organs, the arms, head and spine, how everything is connected in some way. It's can move independently, so you can move your shoulder independently, but this allows you, so this kind of independence allows you to make connections, to make functional connections. So to the back. And then if you like, you can add also the image of the blood vessels going into the lungs from the heart, and then back to the heart, and then from the heart into the aorta and into the arms. And still with the movements which are invited by the roundness of the ball. So the reach, how the reach is supported by the content, the inside of your bones, your ribs, your sternum. And as you continue to move, feel your feet on the ground. So you feel how as you move, you can use this connection from the ground to maybe to push a little bit with one foot or with the other foot, and feeling how that is supporting the movement of the arms or the reaching of the upper body. And if you like, you can play a little bit more where the ball can go. So the ball can also go also go on your arm if you like, or can go on your head. Just playing around a little bit to invite different ways of moving, or the ball can be between your hands in the space, rolling up and down. Just notice how this roundness of the ball, this specificity of this round shape, of this spherical shape, this volumetric shape, is informing your movement. And then if you can find somewhere a wall where you can now you put the ball at the back of your heart. So you put the ball in the middle of your thorax. So you can see maybe this position to start with. And first start, before you move, make bigger movements, start again just to feel the presence of the ball against the wall and against your body. And feel your feet on the ground. Feel this connection of your lower body, which allows the forces or the energy going through your whole body. And then just start to move a little bit to the left and to the right, and to front and back, just inviting yourself to explore in small movements this roundness, this soft roundness in your back. And again, just connecting that to your lungs, to your heart. And then as you start to let it spread into your arms, also connecting it to the blood vessels, or connecting the arms through the blood vessels, and then coming back to all these different ways of moving. There's different ways of communicating, relating to the ball, with your spine, with your heart, your ribs. Also, slowly starting to roll the ball, giving a kind of a slight massage to your back, inviting all kinds of variations. So the ball can be higher, lower. Can be more on the side. You can reach in the space with your arms, or with one arm, allowing your shoulders to slide over the ribs. And taking some deep breaths. And with the exhale, if you want also to sound again. Letting your ribs and your lungs and your heart vibrate. Then take a few more moments, just continuing to move as you like, or to stretch, or to rest, or to write something down if you want. Just taking some notes if you like. And coming back to the screen. Before we do a little sharing, one more thing. So if you put your hand without the ball on your sternum, now imagine the volume of the ball inside of you, inside your thorax. So this image of the spherical ball or the round ball, this roundness, just project it inside. And now, like, imagine that this ball is from the inside is pushing in the sternum. So now there is something from the inside moving the sternum forward or moving the sternum and the ribs to the side. So it's more this feeling of an inside initiation when you can add, of course, there the fluidity, the fluid-filled organs and the air from inside in the lungs moving your sternum and your ribs. And the hand on outside on your sternum is more like observing. It's more like following what is coming from inside. And that if you want to move your hand a little bit to the side, that can also then support again the reach of the arm and the movement of the shoulder, how that also can come from inside. So the movement is like the lungs are touching the ribs and the arm from the inside. And you can place your hand in different parts of the ribs, also a bit lower, where there are the lower lobes of the ribs, of the lungs, and feel there what is that relationship of the lower parts of the lung to the reach of the arm. Or the other side. Just playing a little bit with the movements we have explored earlier, but now without the ball. And then with the idea of touching the ribs and the sternum from inside. And then as you continue to move, look at the reaching arm. So wherever your arm goes, you follow that with your eyes and with your head. So even if I'm crossing midline, my head and my eyes follow the movement. So I'm always staying connected to my to my hand wherever I go. So if my hand goes up, I also go up. If the hand goes back, I follow my hand back. If my hand goes down, I go down. So always stay connected. And I stay connected with the lungs and the heart supporting that. And at some point, I can hand it from one hand to the other hand. So then now I'm following my left hand. And then my left hand gives it to the right hand, and then I'm following my right hand. And I can play with that. It's like almost passing on an object to one hand and the other hand. But my hands are always following, my eyes are always following a hand. Or they follow both hands. There is also the possibility to, when the hands stay more together, there's the possibility to follow both hands wherever they go. Or they separate and I follow just one hand. And then come back to a more neutral position and put one hand again on the sternum and reach with the other hand in space and look at the hand. And then turn the head in the opposite direction and open this whole space here in your chest by turning your head in the opposite direction, and then again relating the eyes ahead to the hand and then moving away. So you have that, or you could even say hand coming to the mouth and then everything moving away. And then you can play a little bit with this in one side. And it's like also the fascia. You can also think about how the fascia of the heart and of the lungs are opening as you turn away from your reaching arm. And you can do the same thing on the other side. You can first you look at your hand and then you move in the opposite direction. And notice how you're opening and closing. You're opening the fascial connections. And then just continue again for a few moments, however you like, however you want to move or explore or rest for a moment. And just notice your breath, how your breath is flowing right now. And allowing any images or any thoughts, memories to be present in this moment.